Okay, I'd like to welcome you all here tonight, and we'll just start kind of at the end because we get going. And when you leave this evening, will you look around you, and if there are any cups or if there are any flyers or if there are any papers, will you please make sure that you take those with you? Okay, folks in the back. Folks, thank you. We're heading on here. Okay, so these are the areas that we serve. You will see lots of that. However, we have members from all over the place. But in terms of organization with the Democratic Party of Orange County, our particular club is chartered to work in these areas. The Laguna Woods is chartered to work in another area, and then that kind of helps us in terms of being organized and making sure we're not stepping on each other's toes and redoing work, right? Okay, so if we'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And let's see, who will lead us in the pledge tonight? Any volunteers out there? Okay, thank you. And your name is? Harvey? Harvey Curtis will lead us in the pledge tonight. Thank you, Harvey. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, so here is kind of some business details, and we're going to do the adoption of some consent items, and that would be the agenda that is before you. We obviously have a quorum. The general meeting minutes from last time, if you would like to see them, our hardworking secretary, Janice Batts, has those available. And then the treasurer's report, which I'll talk a little bit about as we go on. So may I have a motion to accept the consent calendar? Okay, Stacy makes the motion. Do I have a second? Who made the second? Connie Martin. Okay, second from Connie Martin. Thank you. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any opposed? On we go. Okay, so the treasurer's report, I'll show you a couple of different items, and we'll start out by talking. Ken, could I ask you to stand up? I know you're a guy behind the scenes, but I'd like to give a shout out to this guy, and I'd like everybody to know who Ken Johnson is. He works tirelessly in the background with all of our different accounts that we have, all of the different line items. And just recently, he had to submit 2 reports on behalf of our club. You know, sometimes I think club is a misnomer. I don't know about you. Whenever I think about it, I kind of think of kids getting together and just hanging out and making their own rules and then changing them the next week and kind of carrying on. But we are governed by laws. And so he has to file reports often to the federal government because we give to candidates who are congressional candidates. And he also has to file with the state because we give to state candidates. And they're rather lengthy, and if you don't turn them in on time, you get in trouble and all that stuff. But Ken always gets them in on time and always makes sure they are very accurate. So I wanted to make sure you kind of know all that stuff is going on behind the scenes. Now, you will see that we are doing quite well. And where does that money come from? Comes from you, exactly. It comes from the fundraiser, like we had this evening. It comes from every one of your membership. It comes from your sustaining membership. And then it comes from the additional things that all the fundraising team does. And then what do we do with all that money? Well, when we get all of that money, then what we do is some of it we have to spend just to, you know, keep the doors open and do business. Like we have to rent this room, we have to buy the supplies for the fundraising, and then we also have to buy supplies for the field team, because the field team is out on the streets doing the postcards, doing all of that work. And then the heap of the money goes to candidates. Now, how does that work? And the reason I'm kind of taking a minute here, because I had some new people to the meeting and they saw the budget and they saw things and they weren't really clear what is going on, what are you doing? The money then that we use to support candidates, we do not run any campaigns. That's not what we are. What we are is we find candidates, and especially local candidates, school board, city council, water boards, Orange County supervisors, and then on up the chain. And then we support those people. Locally, we get to decide who we support. When it comes to the state candidates and the congressional candidates, it kind of rolls down. They get endorsed. And so then we look for candidates who are most viable. And then we get out there and we help them on the field team. We literally with human resources help those campaigns. And then we help them with donations. So that's kind of how it works in terms of what we're doing and why we're raising all of this money, is because, as you know, when you hear on the TV, right, these people are spending millions and millions of dollars on campaigns. So even locally, relative to everything, it costs a lot of money. So I just wanted to take a little time to talk about that. And then this is some of the stuff from our fundraising team. Okay, so now on to some other things here. Okay, July, I even wore the outfit. I wore my costume. This is Patriotic Month. And I wanted to take a minute because I know I had some friends when it was 4th of July. We just had a big celebration, didn't we? And, you know, I had people saying, you know, it's really hard for me to get out there and celebrate. It's really hard for me to be proud of what we're doing. Then I kind of thought about that. I thought, you know what? I am very proud. I am very proud of America standing up to all of this stuff going on. Yes. Look at 10 years ago, would you have been sitting in this room? I don't think so. So when we look around and we see what a good half of the country now, and it's growing, is doing to fight this, I think we need to be very proud, and very proud that we are involved. And so locally, we're going to stay involved. We're going to keep after young Kim. You're going to keep calling her office. You're going to keep calling her out on her blatant lies, right? She told us, oh no, I wouldn't vote against anything that would in any way harm Medicare or the people that use it. Well, then a week later, she went on and voted for that. So keep up the good work. You will see on the agenda, there's the phone number. The phone number is here as well. And another thing we have here tonight, and others of you have seen them around, are the little red immigration cards. Did anybody get any of those? So, you know, kind of keep those handy, because as you go about your life, when you see, you know, people in your neighborhood that you know that think might, you know, benefit from the information, you know, go ahead and pass those out. It's a small thing, but it's something that we can do and contribute to that. Okay, so for E, summary of how we spend our money, I guess I kind of went over that in terms of looking for viable candidates, and again, not supporting any particular, you know, we don't run campaigns. Now, we also have a good opportunity, F, coming up here, and got a little orange going on. We're having the Democratic Party of Orange County is having its big fundraiser. It often is called the Truman Dinner. This year it's called the Truman Dinner, but also the We the People of Orange County. It is going to be held on September 20th at the Hilton off of Bristol. And for a short period of time, we will be getting special pricing. So if any of you are interested in that, the tickets are usually $250. But if we get another table of 10, sorry, we can offer the 200. So after the meeting, or right there on the agenda is my address, and you can email me and I will definitely get in contact with you about that. And the deadline, let's say this Friday, because it always takes a while to juggle and get everything organized with that. G, Sunday afternoon, Monday morning with your coffee, first thing on your agenda, open up the computer and read our newsletter. And if you are not already on our newsletter, if you're sitting there going, well, I don't get the newsletter. If you go right there to the address, canyondems.org, the first thing on the page there is to sign up for the newsletter. And the reason it's so important is because all of you sitting in this room are activists. All of you are people who are here to make change. And to make change, you got to be informed. So you got to start the week by figuring out what's going on out there. And I know it's overwhelming because both Saturday, Sunday morning, I actually read it before they send it out. And sometimes I start losing my breath. I'm looking at so many stuff and thinking, I'm not working hard enough. I'm not doing enough stuff. And then I have to remind myself, no, this is a buffet. This is a smorgasbord of choices. And one week you might want to do one thing. One week you might want to do another thing. You know where your talents are. So when you're looking, don't think, I'm supposed to be doing that. I should be doing that if I'm no. This is everything that's going on. And the people that write the newsletter, Cindy, Ashley, and Jackie, do a fabulous job, and they work all week looking at what they're going to write about, and they always start with some kind of issue that's gone on that week. So that's where you need to start, with the newsletter. It's got tons of information, and recently somebody was saying that, the Kenyon Dems really should mention this or mention that. We do in the newsletter. So start there, and then we're going to kind of follow up with some other ways that you can kind of keep in touch. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce our vice chair, Suzanne Danis. Come on up. And she's got a wonderful opportunity for you. I don't know.
Yes, I have a wonderful opportunity for you. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what it is. We'll be talking about it in the months to come, but I wanted to give you all something to think about. So for interested members that are here today, you get to play an important role in our democratic process to elect our state assembly representatives in 2026. Background: the California Democratic Party issues endorsements in federal and state election contests, including statewide, U.S. House, state assembly, state Senate offices, and statewide ballot measures. The chartered clubs, of which we are one, and organizations, have the right to representation in the very first step of the California Democratic Party's endorsement process, which is called the pre-endorsement conference, not to be confused with the endorsement conference. So therefore, we are sharing with you this great opportunity to be part of this process. Our club gets to participate in the candidate endorsement process for 3 assembly districts. That's AD 71, AD 72, and AD 74. Take note if you're in any of these 3 districts, because I'd love to talk with you. So if you live in any of these assembly districts, we would like you to consider submitting your name to be on a ballot to be elected by our club. And that would be to be our club's representative to the pre-endorsing conference. There you will have the power to vote on the candidate you would like the California Democratic Party to endorse during our 2026 elections. Pardon me for using my notes, but this is quite a complicated process, and I know I'll get it tangled if I don't use my cheat sheet here. So the duties that you would be asked to do are very straightforward. You must live in one of these districts and be a club member in good standing. You must attend online training prior to the conference. I imagine it would be probably 1 or 2 hours. And then you participate online during the pre-endorsement conference itself, which will probably be early next year. So this pre-endorsement conference is the first step in the long endorsement process. After Kenyan Democrats representatives have completed their voting responsibilities, the process does continue on, with the next steps being the actual endorsement conference itself, and then the state endorsing convention. Probably that will be in November. We're not sure on our dates yet. We're still determining what they will be. So as we get closer to our October election date, we will provide more information to you. However, in the meantime, those of you who are excited about representing our club and having full authority to vote to endorse assembly candidates to your interest, come talk to me. Send an email through Kenyan Democrats or to any board member, they'll know how to find me, and mention your interest in being on the ballot that we would elect you as a representative. So how many representatives are we looking for? A lot. So each elected representative votes for 20 club members. We get one representative for every 20 of you in good standing. So when we look at our map for Assembly District 71, we actually need to have 21 people on our ballot. So each and every one of you, I'd love you to be interested. And we'd love to balance it men to women, 50% either way. For AD 72, we estimate we'll need 7 representatives. And for AD 74, we need 1 representative. So if you live in AD 74 and you catch me quick, chances are pretty good you'll be on that ballot. So that concludes is just a quick introduction to what the pre-endorsing conference is all about, and we will give much more details as we go along. There's a question? Yes, so that is for our Assembly District candidates, and once again, that's Assembly District 71, 72, and 74. Janet? As soon as I have further information, we'll get it to you. So what I've shared with you today, the dates are tentative. All of this came up today off of the CADEM website. It was not there before. So we've got the process. We still need to get our dates. My understanding is those are the 3 assembly districts. But when we actually get to the endorsing conference, there may be ballots, referendums, initiatives, things like that. As we get more detail, we will bring it to you. Good enough?
Yes, yes, yeah, thank you, Bill, thank you very much. Yeah. Suzanne is just kind of, it's like one of those things, just throwing out the idea for you to start thinking about if you would like to be someone who gets to endorse a candidate. Because we only meet once a month. So sometimes things get backed up pretty quickly. So that's why we wanted to get this out there, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about it, and then we'll have the election and tell you what you do in that. So I know it's a little nebulous right now. Okay. Okay. So the 3 that she said, and the Senate, and the, what was the other one you said? The Assembly. No, congressional, yes, in our area. Okay, thank you. That is Fran Cedillo, and she is the past president of the Democratic Party of Orange County. So when she speaks, we listen. Yes. Now, I missed making an important announcement. I'm a little bit behind. If you are new to our meeting tonight, would you please raise your hand? Oh, thank you. Woo! Wow, they're all over on this side. Great, thank you. And if you have been around for a while, you might reach out to some of these folks and welcome them. And I see there's one elected here, and that's Barbara Schulman. I know, I was going to say, who's the other elected that's here tonight? Oh, Susie, very good, yes. Susie Schwartz, both board members in Saddleback Valley. Okay, yes. We couldn't do it without them. All right, so now we're on to our committee reports, and our first one up will be Anita for membership. And the rest of you, if you can kind of be in line, so after Anita, well, Janet will be back for Ann, and then Louise is right here, so we're good.
Thank you, Janet. Can everyone hear me okay? I want to do the happy dance. We have new members, and we're so excited. I don't know if you have it. You don't have one for the new one, but we're up to 719 right now, which is a miracle.
Okay, she probably is right.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was her.
Okay, we have a typographical error.
My mistake, because if you have not paid your dues, we took those people off, so it reduced the numbers a little bit.
Oh.
My mistake.
Well, we got somebody renewing today,
Oh,
so
okay.
they're building it back up. Yeah, thank you very much, honey. Yeah, thank you. So anyway, we're at 719, and you know what? By next month we'll be 779. How's that, you guys? You know, I think Melora was right when she said we have the best recruiters in the White House right now. So I wish I could take credit, but I know better. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope this thrills you and enthusiastically thrills you. So thank you very much. Who do you want next? Oh, okay. The members by party, that's all the stuff that they have for members. And then we have a total of here for districts, 641 in District 40. That election is not going to be easy, but you know what? I know 640 people, it's pretty darn good for us. That's really hitting it. So we're good. And the other ones, oh, look at this. It's a breakdown.
Yeah, this is the breakdown, but this is the one, where's the?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
No?
No. My chartered by cities, Mission Viejo is 341. Lake Forest, 121. That's pretty good. Lake Forest and Foothill Ranch. Yay. Unincorporated Canyon is 79. Rancho Santa Margarita is 72. Laguna Hills, 39. Now that's going to be growing because we have a field group out there working it. So that's going to be growing. Ladera Ranch is 21. Trabuco, 20. Santiago is 17. And Costa de Casa and Dove Canyon is 15. Now I live in Rancho Mission Viejo, and so out of those two, I want to know who the other one is, please. Whoever that is, we got to share ride or whatever. And then Las Flores, is one. There's only one. No. Thank you.
Well, that's why
So we counted you. Thank you, Ken. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, we're looking good on all fronts, and I think we're going to be doing even better by next month. So anyway, there we are. We're standing good. Love you guys.
Yeah, we have a few pinch hitters tonight because it's summer and people are on vacation. So that's great. So I'm in for Ann, and on your agenda, you will look tonight. They were collecting school supplies. And Lynn Holmes, where is Lynn Holmes? Hey, Lynn Holmes right here. Thank you very much. She has donated basically to us a way for us to get backpacks, and for a mere $5. Yes, so if you look on here, you can give Lynn $5, and that means a kid is going to get that backpack, and they're really nice backpacks. Or you can Venmo her. That information is on the form right here. So thank you. Tonight? Oh, fabulous. Wow, thanks to all of you. That's amazing. Now for next month, Ann is doing what is up here. I support the girls. I don't know if we've done that one before. So what that's all about is, let's see, what I need to look back at what these, it's gently, the undergarments, right. So all of the undergarments and other supplies and things like that. So if you can bring those to the next meeting, we won't be selling anything while we're here. So you got to bring them yourself. So I support the girls at the next one. Okay, now we have Louise Adler, her and her team. Are you on her team? Anybody out there? Raise your hand. Look at all these people that are behind Louise, working hard. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so, see, okay, it's the same as mine. Right, so we're still very busily writing postcards. Sarah Burt, raise your hand over there on the side, Sarah, so people, wave your arm. So that's Sarah Burt, she's in charge of the postcards, so if you want to write postcards, go see Sarah. We're getting ready, we're writing postcards now that we'll be distributing in the fall and in the spring. We're also working on new flyers for each community. This is something new we haven't done before. We used to just have one flyer that we used everywhere, but now we're having community-based flyers that will talk to people about the issues in their community. We're still recruiting and orienting canvassers for the fall. So after I finish speaking, I'll walk around and pass out these yellow forms, and Randy, Mike, you can help me if you want. Then you can put the yellow form if you're interested in helping with the walking, the canvassing, fill out a yellow form and throw it in the basket. And then the community coordinator for your area will be calling you up to tell you about what's going on. So you're not really committing to anything strenuous tonight. You may get called later to do strenuous things. So we are interested in recruiting people that like to walk door to door and knock on doors. Barbara, would you like to talk about voter registration briefly? Thank you.
Okay, well, we did the July 4th Mission Viejo Street Fair, and it was a great success. Is there anybody here that we recruited from? Welcome. And we had actually 20 volunteers work that day. So would you raise your hand if you volunteered? Give them a round of applause. Okay. And we got 8 voter registration forms, and we actually beat last year where we only got 5 voter registration forms. But we sold $220 worth of merchandise. Ken's shaking his head. And a very nice lady donated jewelry, beautiful jewelry that sold like hotcakes. So that really helped us out there. And we gave out 35 of these Young Canyon Dem flyers. I asked JJ to make them up, and he stepped up to the plate, and his wife, I think, decorated this. And so we got a lot of people interested in the Young Canyon Dems. And we got 60 people to sign up for the activity interest forms, and we put them in the database, so now they'll get the newsletter. We gave out hundreds of cards, so we really increased the club's exposure. Now, upcoming events, we are going to do the rally in Lake Forest that's on July 24th at the corner of El Toro and Trabuco, because we're having a hard time actually getting into Lake Forest, so we figure that's a route in there. And then we're going to do August 9th right here in Mission Viejo. If you guys live here, you know they do the symphony in the park. And prior to the symphony, they have booths from 4 to 7. We're going to do that event. And a special request here, they're wanting us to do some activity for kids. So if anybody has expertise in doing child craft for children, if you could let me know, because we will need help at the booth and help getting that stuff set up. And then also we're going to be doing Saddleback College 2 days over there, and that's always a lot of fun. Now, if you want to get involved, I have mine is yellow. I'm going to call yours orange. I have an activity interest form too. Carol's going to come around and hand them out. And then I have a bag in the back that you can put them in, and then you will get into the database. And if you've already filled one out, you don't need to fill another one out. But the people who fill out those forms are the first to be notified of the voter registration opportunities. Just action items, things I've talked about before. Keep an eye out for community events in your neighborhood where we could do voter registration. Spread the word about re-registering from independent to Democrat, because that will help us defeat young Kim, so we can get money, because she's got a lot of money. We need to fight that. And just in closing, I don't know if many of you were here for the Eric Swalwell event, and one thing he said that really stuck with me is that small victories lead to big victories. And I consider every voter registration form a small victory. So, thank you.
Okay, I had a couple more things, Janet. Yeah, one of the interesting things that's going to happen is we already have some candidates that we could be helping. For example, we have Catherine Breakspear, who represents Senate District 38, and parts of our club area cover her district. Laguna Hills, Mission Viejo, Rancho Santa Margarita, Trabuco, Ladera, and Las Flores. You could already be holding coffee hours for her. You could already be doing things to support her because she's an incumbent Democrat running for office. She also overlaps with a bit of Katrina Foley's district. Katrina's on the Orange County Board of Supervisors, Area 5, and she covers Laguna Hills, Ladera, and Las Flores. So if you're anxious to do that, look in the newsletter, because we have 2 coordinators now who are going to be working with people who want to put on candidate forums, meetings, meet and greets at their home. Michelle and Dan Graham, and their information will be in the newsletter. They're prepared to help you figure out how to put one of these events on. It doesn't have to be big and fancy. It could be a pot of coffee and 5 or 6 neighbors. Little victories. Every one of them counts. The other thing that, I think that's it. Okay, oh no, one more thing. We are still looking for a coordinator in Laguna Hills for the field team. And I would love to talk to anybody. How many people here from Laguna Hills right now? Hands, anybody? Okay. Yeah. We need you, because you can see we have coordinators in all the other areas. We need coordinators in Laguna Hills. Thank you very much.
Another pinch hitter, Marty is on vacation, so
Do you need help?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Thanks. Welcome, everybody. I'll take a little personal time here for a moment. On Saturday night, Cal and I hosted an event at our house. It was for all the team leaders, the executive board, the committee members. We had about 50 people at our house. It was potluck. We had a great time. I want to thank you all for coming, that you participated. That's wonderful. Thanks. Thank you. And like I told them, I'm going to tell you, I was talking, I looked out and I said, looking out and seeing all of you just gives me hope and fire. So this is all good. Also, somebody left their sunglasses at my house. If these are your sunglasses, come see me. I have them here. They're a little bent. Looks like somebody might have sat on them. Anyways. And one more thing before I get started. Today we have a very special birthday. It's Janet Henry's birthday. She didn't tell you that. So, Janet, come on up here really quick. Come on, Janet. I brought my bag of tricks. Come on, Janet. Here we go. Wait, hang on. One more thing, and there's more. There you go. Hold on. There you go. There you go. And, okay, up tempo, everybody. Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I really don't want to sing on this. Happy birthday, dear Janet. Happy birthday to you. Yay. Okay, now I can do my report. All righty, so is our screen up here? Okay, first I want to acknowledge, we're not going to have you stand up today, but if you're a sustaining donor, raise your hand, because we want to acknowledge you every chance we get. Thank you. If you would like to be a sustaining donor, it just makes making a small donation and making it monthly. And we've gotten, let's see, it's on the list here. Hang on, I got 2 things I'm reading. Okay, right now we've got 107 sustaining donors, and that has brought in $8,761 so far this year. And that's easy money because we really don't have to do too much to get that. You guys sign up. We also have usually it's every year and a half, we have a really nice party for sustaining donors. So we throw a good party on our team. So that would be something you might want to sign up for just to get to come to our parties. Okay, really quickly, we made, at the ice cream social, we made $1,300 for eating ice cream. Thank you all. Coach House tickets, remember we did the raffle tickets last month? $355. That was donated by Kathy, where she's, thank you, Kathy. That was from another group was that from? Oh, I didn't know it was from your son. That was from her son, so thanks for that, Kathy. Okay, anyway, so let me tell you about what we've got going on here. So the first thing we've got coming up, let me think, I have this in a certain order. Okay, the candidates meet and greet is coming up first. That's going to be July 30th. It's going to be here. I'm calling this the Murray now. It's going to be here at the Murray, and it's from 7 to 9. We're going to have beer and wine, and we're going to also have soft drinks, and we're going to have some desserts and fruit. And then it's just a meet and greet. It's not a forum. The club's going to host a forum later on when we whittle it down to a manageable group of candidates. So come meet them, get the chance to talk to them. That will help you make your choice when you get to vote. And getting to meet them up close and personal and talking to them makes a big difference sometimes with your choice. Okay, we have a deadline of Monday, the Monday before. All the information's on the website. It was my fault. I failed to put a deadline on the ice cream social, but going forward, we're gonna have to start having deadlines because we're getting so many people coming to our events, which is a wonderful problem to have, but we can't have people come in without us knowing because we got to have enough food for you. Okay, thanks. Okay, we have all 6 of the 40th district candidates so far. Hopefully this is all of them are coming. Okay, that's a good thing. Yay, that's good. Okay, Marty and I are working on the DPOC has an annual Truman Dinner. If you've never been, it's a beautiful event. It's at the Costa Mesa Hilton, thank you, on Bristol. It's a beautiful event, lots of people there, it's very fun. We're working on it. Marty and I are doing fundraising. The committee is looking for volunteers, and these are volunteers that may or may not be going to the dinner because you're going to come in and help us set up because we're hoping to have like 800 people. So we've got centerpieces, they all have to be put out. We'll feed you dinner. It won't be in the room, but the hotel brings dinner in for our volunteers. So if you're interested in maybe doing a couple hours of volunteering and getting to see some fun people, please let me know, okay? And we'll hook you up with who's in charge at the Democratic Party of Orange County. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna have a really good time, September 20th. Okay, we're gonna have a hoedown. And I got a really cool hat that's light up. So, howdy everybody. Okay, so it's gonna be here at the Murray. We're gonna have chili, cornbread, beer, wine. We're gonna have a country line dancing instructor. So if you got 2 left feet, it's still gonna be fun. Nobody cares. And you know what? We don't like everybody that can dance really good anyways. Those are the boring ones. It's the fun ones that are out there that dancing. That's what I say. So anyways, so it's the 20th. We got a little bit of time, but they'll be coming up. So it's not the 20th. It's September. It's October. I got too many things going on. Thank you all for keeping me honest. It's October 17th, right? I don't know what's this. Oh, the 20th. Okay, now I see what I did. I didn't get much sleep last night, so my notes are not very legible. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. We always have a good time. We need money to give to our candidates. It helps us. The big candidates, they don't need our money. It's our little local candidates, the school boards, the water districts, that we need to help them out. And every cent we give them, they appreciate it, and they really can use it. So come help us do that so we can elect more Democrats. So thanks for your help and time, and we'll see you at the hoedown for sure. Thank you, guys.
Okay, another pinch hitter here. We need that mic back. Mike.
Oh, geez, wait, I'm leaving without
All
I
right.
told you I was tired.
Yeah. All right, Cindy with communications. Just a simple request. First of all, these are the platforms that we are on. So let's do a little hand raising. If you are on Blue Sky, which I think is one of the newest ones out of that group, raise your hand if you have ever been on Blue. Woohoo! That is fabulous, because we did this at the beginning of the year. Yes, Suzanne is going, yes. And we asked people how many were on social media, and we got just a few. So that's good. That's very good. So we are on Blue Sky as well. And what about Instagram? Any Instagram people out there? Wonderful, wonderful. And then we have, okay, Brett's? Threads. Obviously, I'm not on that one. Any Threads people? Okay, yeah, quite a few. And Facebook. Okay, there we go. So here's the request, and it's written on the paper here. Our people that are in communications, Cindy, Jackie, several other people are do the posting. So I cannot go on and post, you cannot go on and post, but the communications team is asking you to go on and respond to the posts. So if you will please start doing that and going on these different sites and keeping us active and keeping the conversations going, that will be another step in our process here. So thank you. Okay, then we have nobody from the newsletters, but here's another source for you. Is we have our overall Canyon Dem newsletter, right? It's the big umbrella. If you live in Lake Forest, well, there's certain things that are going on in your city that you need to know to keep track of that city council. Please read the message from Andy. If you are in RSM, same thing. We've got some crazy stuff going on over there. Exactly. So you're not going to know about the crazy stuff. You're not going to know about getting your gut all in a knot to get out there and get a new council member if you're not reading the newsletter. So realize that we have the big umbrella of our Canyon Dem, and then each community, and we're looking for Laguna Hills, we're going to get those people caught up as well. So it's kind of meant to really bring it down to the local level. So you're really talking about the people in your community. Okay, so now on to JJ and our young Dems. And I want to thank him for getting that group going, and it's going gangbusters.
All right. Thank you, Janet, and happy birthday. Okay, so we started this group earlier in the year. The goal was build community with people under 45-ish, members of the club, bring them together in fun, casual events, and then drive or motivate people to then take action. Go to rallies, join committees, different things like that. So we've already got a good group of people going. And we meet every month, last Thursday of every month at Gamecraft Brewing. So if you fall into that category of under 45-ish and you're here tonight and you want to learn more about it, just under every last Thursday of each month. And then if you have a child or a grandchild that you would like to share this with, please let them know about that. One special thing that we're doing this Saturday, actually, and I want to give a shout out to Morgan over there. Morgan, if you can raise your hand. Morgan is going to be hosting at her place in Lake Forest a special get-together in the afternoon, where we're going to do a bit of structured activities, discussion. We're going to have action boards and drive people to specific ways in which they can take action. It's a kid-friendly event. I heard someone talk about kid activities. One thing that we're doing mock ballots for the kids. So what's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite superhero? And we're all going to vote, and then we're going to see at the end of the event what the winners are. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it. This Saturday, if you're interested, talk to me or Morgan after the meeting. Every last Thursday at Gamecraft Brewing is where we meet too. So thank you.
So get out your phone and do that QR code so that you can pass it on to anybody that you know that would fit this demographic so that they can sign up to attend and find out, get the address, right? You got to start there. So if you've signed up, yes, Barbara. You're not? Yes. Yes, yeah, I'm going to hold it back. I'm going to hold it back for a second so you can get the QR code, and then I'll go forward for the next get together. Yeah, so get that QR code there. It's amazing how well they work. They just punch the button. There you go. Okay, yes, thank you, Barbara. And this was for Thursday, the 31st. This is their monthly over at Gamecraft. Have any of you ever been to Gamecraft? It's a nice little pub over there on the other side of the road. They've got good food, good prices, good for people to gather there. All right, so now we are on to programs. So Suzanne, do you want to kind of bring us in on who's going to be coming up, or are you good with that? Okay, all right. All right, so we have in August, Jeff Perlman. Anybody read Jeff Perlman here? Okay, very good. Good, so you'll be really excited to see him. And then in September, Fred Smoller, Mike Moodian. They have been around for a while and are getting more and more known for the wonderful work they're doing in terms of analyzing elections and following and dynamic speakers. And then Mario Barnes, and some of us in the room, raise your hand if you saw Mario Barnes last week. Yes, over at UCI, we went, some people went and saw him. They kind of did a review of the Supreme Court justice and the decisions they made that this year, last year. Okay, now we're on to our speaker. So we're going to have, okay, come on up. Okay, this is Justine White. She is on the program committee, and then she's going to introduce our speaker this evening.
Thank you, Janet. So tonight we're lucky to have Ann Stone from the League of Women Voters. She's been with the League for quite a few years, or some years, and she's very passionate about the subject we have tonight on book bans. So I give you Ann Stone.
You have to give me a second here to get organized. Thank you. You guys are giving me a little bit of oh, have to close it more? All right, is that better? Okay, you guys have to give me a little bit of leeway here. Old lady, and I'm dealing with 3 different technical things. One here, and one here, and one here. So something goes wrong, let me know and we'll deal with it. Impressive group, really, you're great. You know, the League of Women Voters, most important thing is voting, right? And you're all here to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you to vote. So that is the key here. A little bit, see, people talk about the League of Women Voters and what we do, and I want to, before I get into book banning, just very briefly talk about this. You know, we're talking about, it didn't do it. Okay, so the next one. Thank you. All right. you know, we're nonpartisan. And so people go, oh, they don't make any decisions about anything. I want to be really clear about what we do. We do not ever talk about candidates or parties, okay? Sorry. We do talk about positions. This is our Bible. We have several hundred positions in here that we advocate for on a regular basis. We have advocates who speak at our state legislature. We have advocates that speak in Congress in Washington. We are involved in protests. We're involved in actively working for the right of all of us. And what is the most important thing? Voting. Okay, so basically it is for active participation in government, understanding major policy issues, and we have two forms. We have education and we have advocacy, and what I'm doing tonight is part of our education. We do have position on libraries, but we don't have a position on book banning. But you know what? It really kind of doesn't matter. It's still libraries that make the difference. So it is in our position book here, it says that we support a public library system as a basic community service with a long-term, assured, stable, and adequate funding source. We support access by all persons to public library services as a major source of knowledge and information necessary, because what is important is to be an informed, active participant in a democratic society. So there's a little bit of difference between banning books in libraries and banning books in schools. More than 2 years ago, there were very few issues with book banning. And starting about 2 years ago, it became a major issue. The American, whoops, what are we doing here? Right there. Yeah, the disclaimer. The American Library Association found that between January and August of 2024, over 1,900 attempts were done to ban books. That is more in that period of time than had ever been done before in a full year. So you can see how active book banning has become. Orange County Public Libraries actually have in writing that they have an obligation to create an environment in which all individuals have the freedom to explore ideas without judgment or censure. So we have an obligation here in Orange County to have free public libraries for everyone. So how are they chosen? How did books ever get into the library in the first place? Your librarians, and whether it is like Mission VA, how everyone knows, is a city library, and then we have county libraries, regardless of which, they always use nationally recognized sources. They care whether books are age appropriate or not. They want information that is current and accurate. They want to reflect the values of the community. And they want to make sure that we are introducing everyone in our community to a global community. So it's not just us, it's everything around the world. And believe it or not, books are actually placed in the appropriate area of a library. You know, there are 3 areas: the children's, the young adult, and the adult. And we're going to be talking about where some books go in a minute. Again, so the Orange County Libraries actually have a full evaluation team, and they characterize them into the various areas as I just mentioned. The library has to have a wide variety of materials in various formats, and they have to have information that also even meets recreational needs. The material evaluators read professional review sources, and we'll talk about a few of those in a minute as guides to selecting their material. The selection criteria also includes whether the information is appropriately handled for the age of the intended audience, the availability of that material elsewhere, and the reputation of the author and the popular demand. If you're interested in how the Orange County Library chooses their books, you can go onto that website, the HTTPS website, and that gives you information about how they choose their books. They're very, very transparent. It's important to know that book bans are not new. And here is some of them on there, and just so for those in the back, the New English Canon was published in 1637. And in it, it didn't like the way Puritans were described, so they banned the book. In the Island of Trees School District versus the Pico Court case, the Supreme Court actually decided that school districts could not ban books. 1982. Prior to 1970, most of the books were really regarding sexual kinds of things like Lady Chatterley's Lover. But I want to talk to you about a few others that you might be surprised about. How many of you are familiar with the book To Kill a Mockingbird? Banned. It's on the list to be banned. A Brave New World? How about Of Mice and Men? The Handmaid's Tale. I have it right here. Oops, I'm holding a banned book. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This was written in 1885, and it's banned on the list now. Nickel and Dimed, Beloved by Toni Morrison, The Color Purple by Alice Walker. This is one of my favorites, the Holy Bible. It was banned in Utah because some parents felt that some of the parts were too violent. It actually got back into circulation. Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl. Kind of distressing when you think about which books. There's a group called PEN. Thank you. PEN stands for Poets, Essayists, and Novelists, and it champions the recognition of the power of the word to transform the world. Their mission is to unite writers and their allies to celebrate creative expression and defend the liberties that make it possible. It was founded back in 1922, and there are 100 chapters of it. They categorize what is going on with book banning. And right now they had said from June to December in 2022, which is, they're just working now on 2023. It takes them some time to gather all the material. Book bannings were happening in 21 states, multiple school districts, and over 1,447 books. So let's think about, what does it mean to have a book ban? I mean, shouldn't parents have the right to guide their own children's reading? I think most of us in this room would say yes. But how do you differentiate between guiding your own child's reading and guiding everyone else's child's reading? I think most of us in this room would say you don't have that right. What's more important to me, though, is that books are really here for understanding complex issues. Think about some of those areas: grieving, sexual orientation. When you read a book about it, that can really help you process. And don't young people have the right to see themselves in books? Questions to ask. Remember a book that meant a lot to you when you were maybe a preteen, teen? If you can think of one, it's probably on the ban list. This is also a First Amendment issue. And Peter Scheer, who's the former executive director of the California First Amendment Coalition, has stated that if a public school were to remove every book because it contained one word that a parent objected to, there would be no books. And I think that's, that's a sad statement, but it's true. And when we're getting to the point where we're having so many people now saying, I object to this, I object to that, we can be in some real trouble. There are some wonderful things about California, though, that I'm going to talk about in a second. So what exactly is a book ban, though? I think most of us might think the book ban means the book is simply gone. That's not the case necessarily. It could be, but it's not the case. It could be that a book is, yeah, perfect, thank you. You're good. A book ban could be that it's simply restricted by age. So they can say, the book is in the adult section and a child cannot get it out. But what's really happening is that folks are going into libraries in particular. They're finding books that are banned. They're checking them out and they disappear. Yeah. That's a really easy way to get rid of a book, isn't it? You don't have to go through any process. Books can be banned because a particular parent or community member challenges it. You did it again for me, didn't you? At the direction of a school administrator, and I'll talk about schools a little bit because they are different, or a response by a lawmaker. I think we've been having some of those. And how do you feel if a book that you really care about, like in some cases, Diary of a Young Woman, all of these, that meant something to you, and then you suddenly find out that they're no longer available to the children today? I want to talk a little bit about some more banned books. So The Handmaid's Tale is one that I think many of you might also know, but I don't know how many of you are familiar with this book, which is called Frank. This is actually almost a memoir, and it's because the author has a daughter who was pretty much a typical kid until for some reason she got exposed to crank and went completely downhill. And what happened to her and the family is what this book is all about, and this is banned. The other one is Sold, I also have here. And Sold has to do with, as it says up there, a young girl from Nepal who was sold into sexual slavery. And Push is one about an illiterate girl who was raped by her father, beaten by her mother, and ignored by authorities. None of these books are in the children's section or the young adult section in libraries. They are all in the adult section, and they're still being banned, saying that children have access to them. Typical reasons that books get on the list. I don't think anyone's surprised by the LGBTQ issue. Violence and abuse. Grief. That one really bothered me. Race, diversity, drug addiction, those also did not surprise me. But the grief one, I really did. And where is it happening? You're not surprised? Oh, next one. There it is. And I want to talk about Huntington Beach for a minute. I think most of you know quite a lot about it, but just in case there's one or two in here who don't, this actually was spearheaded by a councilwoman, Gracie Vandermark. She's the one who started it. And they got two issues that they wanted to have. One, they wanted a 21-person committee that would evaluate every single book that went into the Huntington Beach libraries. And secondly, they wanted to actually get rid of them and have them privatized. So therefore, they didn't have to worry about it anymore. The Friends of the Library got together. And boy, did they get together. So they put two measures on a special election ballot to not allow either of these things to happen. I don't know if any of you actually saw the details of that, but let me tell you, I read them about 5 times before I was sure if I was to vote, what was yes and what was no. And if my yes was going to have the 21 or was the not, whatever. The Friends of the Library did a phenomenal job, and they educated the public, and neither of the measures passed. What you probably don't know is that prior to the election, 10 of the head of the main librarians were all either fired or resigned. The day after the election, one of the main librarians was fired, and the budget has been cut so severely that none, not a single one of these positions, is going to be replaced. And the community affairs director, who is not a librarian, has no knowledge of it, is now in charge of the libraries. So they still have a lot of work to do in Huntington Beach. Let me tell you a little bit about a few other places right here in Orange County. Placentia Yorba Linda School District. They have a policy that all new books into the library have to be approved by the school board. Wonder how long that takes. Orange Unified at one point banned all digital books until they had such an well, because they couldn't control them as well. So until they had such an uprising from the parents, forget the teachers, that they put them back into place. Burbank Unified School Districts have removed multiple titles because the book has the N word in them. Believe it or not, there was a parent uprising after that, and those were all back in place. So parents made a big difference. Glendale has a committee now to review books that go into the library. And Temecula is having some really interesting school board meetings because they have taken away from the curriculum anything that had to do with Harvey Milk. And I bet some of the rest of you here could come up with some too. So talking about schools for a minute. So this is kind of a silly slide, I think, because, you know, they can ban books in a classroom or the library. They can do both. They can do one. They can do the other. That's okay. The one that bothers me is the pending investigations. So when the groups, one of the groups that I'm going to mention in a minute, come in with their list of books, frequently what happens is the school board decides, well, we have to pull these all off of the shelves and out of the classrooms while we're investigating to see whether or not they are really whether they should be banned or not. That can take months. So what's happened to the books? They're gone in that time. California actually has done a few things that hopefully we will get to keep. So AB 1078 was signed back in 2023, and it actually prohibits completely banning books in the classroom. It prohibits censorship of instructional material, and it strengthens the California law requiring schools to provide all students access to textbooks that teach about California's diverse communities. So race, all of that. In addition, just this last year, just before the close of the session, AB 1825, the Freedom to Read Act, which prevents complete banning of books in libraries. So I think we should all be very proud of our state and our legislature and what they have been doing. What I want to talk about now is what you can do. You know, I think, now I'm going to speak for myself. I do a lot of political reading. The league does a lot of information on all of the issues that are going on and from our federal government. And I often feel inadequate. I'm spitting in the wind. I'm overwhelmed. When it comes to book banning, I feel energized and in control because I can make a difference. Each one of you out there can make a difference. And you know what the easiest thing is to do? Get a library card. How many in here have library cards? Outstanding. Wait a minute, put your hands down for a minute. How many of you use them on a regular basis? A lot, but not as many. Let me tell you, it's important not just to get a library card, but to use it. They track those things. They know whether their library is being used or not. So get out there, do it. Do you know library cards are free? I think we all knew that. How many of you knew that there's absolutely no fines anymore? You can keep a book for years, which is both good and bad. Because see, those are some of the books that are no longer in the libraries. Talk to your librarian. What a simple thing to do. We all know the librarians do a great job. You know what they hear? Complaints. Give them some support. That's all it takes. Thank you for being the librarian here. Thank you for having all these great books for us. Thank you for being responsive. And if you need something, let us know. I want to talk a little bit about some of the groups that are advocating for book bans. We came up with 50 of them when we were doing our research for this. And please don't be fooled by their names because they sound so good. Moms for Liberty. They're the biggest. They put in the largest number of books on their list, and they're all over the country. Over 200 chapters. That last count that we had, they may be more now. U.S. parents involved in education, no left turn in education, parents' rights in education, they all sound great. So don't be fooled, pay attention. If you're getting any kind of solicitations from any of them, or you're hearing that they are speaking at a school board meeting, pay attention. I want to talk a little bit more about Friends of the Library, because as I said, in Huntington Beach, without them, we would not have Huntington Beach libraries right now. And so their mission is really very clear. So intensify community use, financially assist, yes, they do raise money, sponsor community cultural programs, communicate community needs, create public support to expand library programs. You can join them. Most of them have no dues, so that would be nice, right? It is a way to have your voice heard, kind of be fulfilling. You're doing something right here locally. It is an easy way to get notified about special events that are coming. So check your local Friends of the Library for other benefits that you might have. And get to know about your library board. Orange County Library Advisory Committee has 26 members and meets 3 times a year. Their publics are open. Cities that are not part of the library system obviously operate differently. Mission Viejo, Newport, Huntington Beach are all separate ones. Newport Beach Library is a board of library trustees appointed by the city council. They also have a young adult advisory council to help with choosing books. The board of directors of the Friends of the Mission Viejo Library System normally meet the 3rd Thursday of each month, except August, at 4:30 p.m. in the Saddleback Room at the City Hall. So get to know them, get to pay attention, because things can happen even here. So what else can you do? Stay informed, review your library policies, write a letter of support to a banned book author. Again, just like the librarian, these folks don't, they They don't hear so much about how much we support them. Stock up on banned books. This is why I have them. Only I'm donating all of these to your organization tonight, so the ones I have. Be ready to speak out at city council meetings. You know, go ahead, watch the agenda, see what's going on, and speak out. And write letters opposing book bans to your area. Maybe even apply to serve on the board of trustees of your library. Easy things to do. As a parent or a guardian, grandparent, friend of the family, monitor what children are reading, and not just in hard copy, but online. People really do have to pay attention to it. And you know what? If you really are objecting to your child reading Push, you don't want them to check it out at the library, that's all you have to do is talk to the librarian. They can put restrictions on your child's reading so that you can control what your child is getting. If it's in school, didn't you? If it's in school and you're objecting to something that's in the curriculum, a book, you can talk to your teacher and get accommodations. That's been in place for years. So you don't have to read that your child doesn't have to read that particular book or do that particular assignment. Accommodations can be made. I won't go into the recent Supreme Court ruling right now. That is going to make things a little bit more complicated. And again, if you're unsure about a book, read it. Just don't rely on rumors. Don't rely on what these other people are saying. Read it for yourself, and then you can decide whether or not this is a book you want to have your child, grandchild, whatever read. If you want to find out what the authorities, in quotes, say about a book, these are two really great resources. Kirkus and Publishers Weekly both review books intensely. And when I said that libraries, the librarians look at resources, these are probably the two major ones that they look at to determine whether a book is appropriate or not. There are, you know, I gave you the names of the ones that are putting out there that they want book bans. These are the ones that are fighting book bans. And you can see there are still a lot of them. And maybe I'm biased in that we have more on this list than we have on the other, but that's how I feel about it. So the American Library Association, you know, I think that's one that many of you may know about. Freedom to Read, Coalition Against Censorship, the ACLU, First Amendment Center, PEN America, again, which I brought up earlier. They track book bans in both libraries and schools and has an index of school book bans. So if you want to find out what is being banned in other places, you can go on to PEN America and they'll find it for you. The Fight for the First uses this site, this is one I love, to create a petition to gather supporters, rally for action, and fight against book bans. So if you find out that something's happening locally, here's a resource you can just go to, as every library also does. It allows you to set up campaigns that will email, fax, phone, tweet, and do letters to the editor in order to fight book bans. So lots of good resources. So, yes, it is the responsibility of a parent or guardian to know what your child is reading and to help guide them. It is not your responsibility to impose standards on other children. I have to say, another plug for the League of Women Voters, because we are fighting this. We were actively involved in the Huntington Beach situation, both financially as well as using the League's presence, I'm going to use that word, in working streets and everything else because of the issue there. We also have a number of other things that we do that you might want to get involved with. We have an observer corps that is looking at, by the way, I didn't mention, our particular league goes from Seal Beach to San Clemente and inland to Irvine, Mission Viejo. So your whole area is all part of our local league. And there's one other local league in Orange County, which is North Orange County, Fullerton, Brea. That anyone who lives in the middle of our county can join either one. But we have an observer corps. We have 17 cities in our league, and we're in 13 of those observing city council meetings every single time. And all of our reports are on the League of Women Voters orangecoast.org webpage, open to anybody to see. We're also observing in most of our school districts in our area, and those reports are also on our webpage. If you know any other groups that might be interested in this presentation or any of the others we do, our big one really is not until closer to the election. I think many of you may be aware that we do pros and cons of the propositions. We do very detailed analysis of our propositions, including following the money. And it truly is pros and cons. We don't ever tell anybody what to vote for. So, and that is it. So any questions from anybody? Yeah.
2 quick comments and a question.
Sure.
First comment, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Second thing, have you seen or aware of the Belchy Band Book Club on MSNBC on weekend mornings?
Yes, actually, I wasn't thinking of the title, but I am aware of the band book club and I have sat in on it. So yes, yeah.
Question I had, everything you talked about was books. What about DVDs?
You know, it's really interesting in that I am not aware, and there may well be, but I am not aware of the organizations that are trying to ban DVDs.
I'm just thinking things like Good Night, Good Luck.
Yeah, I'm, as I said, I just don't know. Anything else? Then, yes.
One of your slides showed that California has passed a particular bill back in 2020.
Right.
How is that not being applied?
Oh, it's being applied. Books are not being completely banned. Okay, so remember, we're talking about completely banned. They are maybe restricted, they may be disappearing, but they're not being banned. The school district is not just banning them. You know, technicalities and regulations, right? Way back there. Nice and loud, please. You're absolutely right. A lot of people's views are not accurate. But that is why the librarians, when they're looking at a lot of the views, they're also looking at other issues. So that they're not choosing books just based on that. Very good point. Then thank you very much. And please.
Very, very much.
Oh, thank you. All righty, so let's see where we are. Well, can you believe it? We're already
At our adjournment, and if I want to thank everyone that made this meeting come to fruition, because it includes so many people, all the people that were up here talking, all the people behind the scenes. Before you leave, get the goodies over here, and it's also a fundraiser, and then we will see you back same time next month, right? We're good? All right, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Keep it going. We can do it.